All right, welcome to the quiz review. We are going to start with number 1. If this video is moving too fast for you, please slow down the video. You can do that in the settings option at the bottom right-hand corner of this video. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first two are just simplifying. So this first question here, I know this is in factored form because factored form is typically written as, well, typically it has parentheses. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's usually x plus or minus a number with just x and just a number. That tells me it has already been factored. So since it's already been factored, we can go ahead and start canceling the x minus 7 and x minus 7, and also the x plus 12 and x plus 12. This does not equal 0. No, no, no. This is going to be equal to 1. If you're wondering why, well, if I said 3 divided by 3 is 1. So x minus 7 divided by x minus 7 is also 1. If the top and bottom match, it doesn't leave nothing, it leaves 1. So when we cancel these two out, that's 1. When we cancel these two out, that's 1. So we have 1 times 1, which leaves us with 1. All right. Next question. Here, we are factoring by GCF. When we factor out GCF, we are looking for the greatest common factor between both terms. So what is the greatest number that can be divided from 18 and 27? It's 9. They both have an x, so we can also factor out an x. Now, essentially, we are dividing both of these terms by 9x. So 18x squared divided by 9x, we are left with 2x. 27x divided by 9x, we are left with 3. And we are done with that numerator. Now, looking at the denominator, 14 and 21, what is the greatest number that can be divided from both? It is 7. Now, both of these terms also have an x, so we're going to factor out an x along with the 7. So now we divide. 14x squared divided by 7x, 2x. 21x divided by 7x, 3. And we are done with the denominator. Let's go ahead and rewrite what we have just to make it look nice. All right, now we have factored everything. I see those parentheses. We're done with the factoring. Now we can cancel. 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3, that's our first match. I also see we have an x divided by x. That's another match. What are we left with? 9 over 7. All right. Next section, we are adding and subtracting. When we add and subtract, we need a common denominator. The easiest way to find or create a common denominator is to take the two denominators and multiply them together. Let's take a look at number 3. Here we have 5 over 9v plus 15 over 9v. These denominators match. So I can go ahead and put a denominator of 9v in my answer. Now with the numerators, we can go ahead and add them together. 5 plus 15 is 20. Now we want to ask ourselves, can 20 be divided by 9? Can this fraction 20 over 9 be simplified? No, it can't. So we are done here. Oops. There we go. All right, number 4. Again, we need to create common denominators. Here we have two different denominators, x plus 1 and x minus 2. How do we create common denominators? We multiply the denominators together. There's our common denominator. So here we have x plus 1. What do we need? We need an x minus 2. Whatever you multiply the bottom by, you have to multiply the top by that as well. Okay, now on the right, we have x minus 2, and we need x plus 1. So we're going to multiply it by x plus 1. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Now, I know this looks crazy, but look, our denominator on the left, x minus 2, x plus 1. Our denominator on the right, x minus 2, x plus 1. They match, so we can go ahead and put a big fraction with our common denominator, x minus 2, x plus 1. Now, to get our numerator, we're looking at the tops now. We need to distribute that x to x minus 2, and we need to distribute this 3 to x plus 1. So let's go ahead and do that. X times x, x squared. X times negative 2, negative 2x. Now to the right, we have 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 1, 3. Now, it seems like we're done, but we are not finished simplifying. We have two like terms in the middle. How do I know they're alike? Well, they both have an x and no exponents. So negative 2 plus 3, we are left with a positive 1x. So let's write this all over again just to make it look nice. X squared plus x plus 3 all over our common denominator, x minus 2, x plus 1. Now, we need to see if we can factor this. So it's a quadratic. Let's start a t-chart. At the top, I put 3. At the bottom, I put the b value, positive 1. Factors of 3 are only 1 and 3. Now, 1 and 3, whether they're negative or positive, will never add up to 1. So this numerator cannot be factored. Our final answer is right here. Now, 5 and 6, these are both negative. We are subtracting. Anytime you subtract, we need to change the sign to a plus sign and change the signs of the following numerator, or distribute the negative. Same thing with number 6. Change it to a plus sign and distribute the negative. Let me do that one more time just for you to see it. Change the sign to a plus sign and distribute the negative. Change the signs of this. Okay, same thing we did here. We'll do that one more time. Change it to addition, distribute the negative. Okay, starting with this first here. We are still in the same section. We still need a common denominator. So how do we find a common denominator? We take our denominators and multiply them together. Our common denominator is going to be 7 times 2. And 7 times 2 is just 14. All right, so going back to multiplying our fractions, we have 7. How do I make 7 become 14? Well, we need to multiply by 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, we do to the top. All right, over here, how do I make 2 become 14? We need to multiply by 7. okay? And you can use the dots, you can use the parentheses, it's all the same. It all means multiplication. All right, now on the bottom, 2 and 7 is 14. 2 and 7 is 14. Success. We have created common denominators. So we're going to make a big fraction with our common denominator of 14. Now we need to distribute the top. 2 times 4x is 8x. And negative 3 times 7, negative 3x times 7 is negative 21x. Now, we do need to simplify this numerator. These are like terms. They both have just an x. So 8 minus 21, that gives us negative 13x over 14. All right, now moving on to this one. We already changed it. I'm going to show you one more time. From a negative to a positive and distributed the negative. Now we need to make or find common denominators. Here I have n plus 5, n minus 6, and here I have a quadratic. Let's go ahead and factor that quadratic, and then we can see what we need to do from there. So quadratic, eye chart. What goes at the top? Negative 30. What goes at the bottom? Your b value. My b value none of your values ever include the letter. It's just the number. Negative 1. All right, so factors of 30, we got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. All right, which of these pairs adds up to 1 or has a difference of 1? 5 and 6. Now, which number needs to be negative to add up to a negative 1? Does the 5 need to be negative, or does the 6 need to be negative? Let's see. 5 minus 6 is negative 1, and 6 minus 5 is positive 1. We're looking for them to add up to a negative 1, so our two factors here are positive 5 and negative 6. So we're going to cross this out. We're going to say n plus 5, n minus 6. All right, now our denominators are actually the same. So we do not need to create common denominators. They are already the same. So let's go ahead and take a big fraction, write our common denominator on the bottom. And now we can combine the numerators on the top. So we have n plus 2 minus n plus 1. All right, so first let's go ahead and combine n minus n. How many n's are left? No more n's. Now we have 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer here is 3 over n plus 5 and minus 6. That's it. All right, moving on to multiplying or dividing. When we multiply, all we do is just combine across the top. We're not actually doing any multiplication. We're just combining all of our top together, combining all of our bottom together, and factoring. All right, when we divide, we use keep, change, flip. But before we do either multiply or divide, we always need to factor first. Okay, so first, let's look at number 7. This is already factored. How do I know that? There are parentheses. Inside the parentheses, I see x plus a number, x minus a number. Those are factors. So we see that this is division, so we need to keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep that first fraction the same. We're changing this to multiplication, and we are flipping this last fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this fraction over here as x plus 20 over x minus 7. And just because I noticed I was confusing some people today, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this below just so you can clearly see what is going on. All right, now we have flipped it, we kept it, we changed it, and now we need to cancel out our matching pairs. We have x minus 7 and x plus 20. What we are left with is x plus 3 over x minus 2. And that is our final answer. Number 8, again, we have division. So we are going to keep, change, flip. But first, we need to factor. So starting with that first numerator here, I see p squared minus 2p. They both have a p, so I can definitely factor out a p. What that means is I'm pretty much dividing both terms by p. So p squared divided by p, I'm just left with 1p. Negative 2p divided by p, well, those p's cancel out, and I'm left with negative 2. Done with the numerator. Moving on to this denominator, I see p squared plus 4p minus 12. This is a quadratic. We are going to make another eye chart. At the top, negative 12. At the bottom, 4. Factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Which of these could add up to 4? 2 and 6. Now, which number needs to be negative to add up to a positive 4? Let's see, 2 minus 6 or 6 minus 2. 2 minus 6 is negative 4, and 6 minus 2 is positive 4. So we need the 2 to be negative and the 6 to be positive. So we're going to cross out this, and we're going to say p plus 6, p minus 2. Let's factor this last fraction, starting with the numerator. Again, we have another quadratic. Let's make a t-chart. At the top, 12. At the bottom, negative 8. Factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Which of these could add up to 8? 2 and 6. Now, these two numbers need to multiply to a positive 12, but they need to add up to a negative 8. So these numbers are both going to be negative because negative 2 times negative 6 is a positive 12, and negative 2 plus negative 6 is a negative 8. Those are our numbers here. That's what we need. This is going to be p minus 2, p minus 6. Now for the bottom, what we have in this denominator here is difference of squares. And difference of squares says we can take the square root of both terms, which would leave us with p and 6. So we have p minus 6 and p plus 6. Now, we need to keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep this first fraction the same. Change to multiplication, and flip this last fraction. All right, Now we can simplify. P minus 2, P plus 6, and a P minus 6. All right, what are we left with? We have a P here and a P minus 2. All right, so our answer here is P over P minus 2. And that is our final answer. All right. Oh, I thought we were done. Oh my gosh. Okay, 2 more. That was division. Now we're multiplying. So multiplying, again, we just factor and then cancel out. No keep, change, split. No chicken. All right, from the top here, is 16 divisible by 4? Yeah. So our GCF is 4. All right, the bottom, is 10 divisible by 2? Yep. So we're dividing them by 2. All right, here, is 25 divisible by 5? Yep. So we're dividing them by 5. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. So we're dividing by 3. Oh my gosh, come on. My pen's going out. Oh, come on. 1 plus 3. All right, now we have factored everything, and now we can start canceling out our matching pairs. I see W plus 5, and that's the only thing that matches. So let's go ahead and rewrite. Here we have 4, or I guess 5 times 4. Let's do that. Let's do that way. 5 times 4 is 20. We still have that W plus 4. And on the bottom, we have 3 times 2, which is 6. There we go. Now we're not actually done here yet. This coefficient, 20 divided by 6, that fraction can be simplified. 20 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Our final answer here is 10 W plus 4 over 3 times W plus 3. All right, last one. We need to factor these denominators. Right here, we have a quadratic. Let's factor using an eye chart. At the top, 16. At the bottom, 8. 16, factors of 16. We got 1, 16. 2, 8. 4, and 4. Which of these pairs add up to 8? 4 and 4. So this is now x plus 4, x plus 4. This other denominator here, 10x minus 50, what are both 10 and 50 divisible by? Or actually, let's do it this way. Is 50 divisible by 10? Yeah, it is. So we're going to factor out a 10. So we're dividing these both by 10. 10x divided by 10, we have x. And negative 50 divided by 10, we have negative 5. Now we need to cancel things out. We have x plus 4 and x minus 5. Now notice how there's nothing visible left in the numerator. That doesn't mean 0, it means 1. So our final answer here is 1 over 10 times 4. And again, we got that from 1 and 10 times x plus 4. All right. Thank you for watching my video. Good luck on your quiz tomorrow. If you are struggling with factoring, you need to do the delta math I've been telling you to do for 3 weeks. Okay? All right, I will have tutoring in the morning if you need some help, and good luck.